Bonjour à tous, nous voici de retour dans une petite vidéo sur le jeu Le Paradoxe de Stanley. Nous allons incarner Stanley, donc, ou plutôt le numéro 427, qui clique à longueur de journée sur son clavier, machinalement, dans une entreprise immense où il n'est qu'un numéro parmi d'autres. Le numéro 427. Et puis un jour, plus d'instructions. Stanley n'a plus rien à cliquer, il sort de son bureau pour regarder ce qui se passe. Et le narrateur va nous guider, nous respectons ses consignes, désavouons nos choix et notre libre arbitre. Nous plions un petit peu à ce qu'il nous dit, mais les décisions que nous prendrons plus tard auront des conséquences. Il y a beaucoup de fins à ce jeu. Voici la première. Prêt ensuite à contrer le système, ou du moins à le croire. C'est parti. Donc le narrateur va parler, donc je ne vais pas trop moi me rajouter à lui. Je rentre l'heure. Voilà, c'est plus conforme à l'heure qu'il est en ce moment. Ah oui, il faut quand même se mettre à l'heure, c'est la moindre des choses. Et c'est parti, et on va suivre les instructions du narrateur. Donc je suis numéro 427, je clique à longueur de journée dès qu'une instruction apparaît sur mon écran, comme des
All of his
centaines d'autres.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Et un espace de travail est absolument des numéros, des chaises vides, des ordinateurs éteints.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
En fait, ici, le narrateur m'impose un petit peu son choix, donc je vais le suivre. Et regardez ce qu'il advient de moi.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Alors, moi, je traduis pas l'anglais, je suis désolé. Personne dans les bureaux.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845.
Effectivement, c'est un
But
code
of course,
numérique
Stanley couldn't possibly have known
ultra
this.
confidentiel.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs.
Pas très doué
Trying to
pour...
input
Oh
anything
là
on the
là
device
là
was
là,
useless,
ça
since he
m'agace.
could never possibly know that the combination was 2.
Voilà.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Pas trop le choix du bouton.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Ah. Non. On va suivre les instructions jusqu'au bout.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
On n'est que des numéros. De simples numéros.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all. And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Alors j'appuie sur quel bouton? On ou off?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
J'ai donc décidé de prendre ma destinée en main et de choisir mon destin. Mais est-ce que j'ai bien fait ou pas? Je suis toujours au numéro 427, mon écran est toujours éteint. Y ai-je d'autres possibilités de contrôler ma vie? D'avoir mon propre libre arbitre? De contrôler le système, ou du moins à croire que je peux le contrôler? Ou ne suis-je que son jouet? À bientôt!